right? Yeah. And it's I stand in my light. Well, excuse me. You stand in your light, and that I changed it to first person. I stand in my light. I stand in my love. I stand in my power. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's a sing-along. So we'll get in touch with our rhythmic selves and know where to sing, okay? I stand in my light. I stand in my love. I stand in my power. Every second of every hour, I stand in my light. I stand in my love. I stand in my power. This moment, this hour. If you don't stand for something, for anything, you may just fall. So let us stand pulled from our heartstrings. Let us stand up tall. I stand in my light. I stand in my love. I stand in my power. This second, this minute, and this hour, I stand in my light. I stand in my love. Stand in my power. This moment, this hour. If it helps to join hands and hearts, lift ourselves and all around. Let's make the stand to make this stand and to make this joyful sound. I stand in my light. I stand in my love. I stand in my power. This moment, this hour. I stand in my light. Stand in my love. Stand in my power. This moment, this hour. This moment, this hour. This moment, this hour. We begin. Here's a loving tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin. We begin, let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. We can start out anywhere, but we're here, we're not somewhere over there. Right here is where we begin. So let's beautifully bless this space, this blue dot in outer space. This right here is where we begin. We begin, it's a loving tune to take us in. Right here is where we begin, let's double down. We begin, let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. Well, when our time is said and done, we've taken in such a loving fun, thinking about doing it again. Though it seems that we have reached the end, remembering that now is when every moment's where we begin. So we begin, a loving tune to take us in. This right here is where we begin. We begin, let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. A loving tune to take us in, let's double down on love, my friends. This right here is where we begin. This right here is where we begin. All right. Good morning.
So most of the folks here have never been to Unity Village, have
Okay.
no idea what it's like. Can you take a couple minutes and talk about what it was like just to be there, to see it, to be in the process of it? Can you? Would you?
Sure.
Great.
I'll give you it's not a metaphor, it's an illustration. As we were driving down the freeway. It's about 30 minutes or so from the airport. You kind of drive through Kansas City and to the other end of town. And we're driving up, and I can see the tower. There's a, is it a bell tower, a clock tower? It's beautiful. And it's on this campus that has fountains going down the middle of it, just really beautiful pools. And the person driving the Uber says, "Oh, this place. Everybody I deliver here is like the nicest person in the world. I don't know what the deal is."
What a great thing.
And so I gave them a packet of Kool-Aid, and right?
Said, come on in. Yeah.
Well, there was an envelope for donation with it. So no. So I got to go there for the Empower Music Festival. Group of people who I think they coined the term posse music 25 years ago or so, created this Empower thing, and they have Posse Palooza and all sorts of things. And so there were about 75 of us there that were, 50 of us or so were musicians, a few music directors, and then 20-some were running the show and teaching classes. David Roth was one of the teachers. I sat through a class with him, had a blast. We wrote a song for a little kid named Gabriel, because he does these songs of love, I think. But it was 3.5 days. The whole time was magical like that. And just walking the grounds, because you have time in between your classes and your events and things, just the weight goes away from your shoulders and your body, just walking around there. Just really wonderful. And next to the labyrinth, there's this huge, gorgeous labyrinth. I haven't done labyrinth walks but once, I think. But this is gorgeous outdoor labyrinth. And there's a fountain at one end. There's fountains everywhere, but not in this part of the campus. One fountain. And it said, "With love from Santa Barbara, for Reverend Linda," on the plaque. So, and it's beautiful. It's, I don't know, it's
Taller
tall.
than me.
So I encourage you, if you ever have a chance, it was such perfection, because when David was here 3-4 months ago, he said, "Hey, call if you ever want to ask questions and stuff," because he's doing what I love to do, but on a much larger scale. And so I called him. I said, "Yeah, one thing is this, that, and the other thing." He says, "The thing I'd recommend, if you can, if there's any way, go to Kansas City for our Empower thing. It's the 19th year, not 20th, of the festival." So I did, and it was tough to put into words. It was spectacular, beautiful,
Right.
life-changing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for visiting my fountain. Yay. You know, things come that are such great blessings. And I hadn't seen my fountain until I received my Myrtle Fillmore Award 3 years ago, I think 3 years ago. So that was the first time I'd ever encountered it in person. And it was big. It was big and tall, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. So, a gift of love, to be sure. Good morning and welcome. If you're online, we're welcoming you in the warm and loving spirit of unity. What I want to say this morning to you online is it matters to us that you take the time to join us in one way or another, whether it's an evening visit or whether it's Sunday morning or whether you just capture it somehow and pick it up at one time or another. It matters to us that you join us. So we love hearing from you, and having a note that says, "I'm here," with your name, it gives us an opportunity to feel your presence in person and associate you with our community. So thank you for being online, for supporting our ministry, our online efforts. We are very, very grateful. And if you are here in the sanctuary, you already know you're blessed. You walked in the door, there was a greeting for you, every one of you. seen and recognized and loved. You didn't have to do a thing except step in the place and receive the loving blessing. So thank you for being here. And our greeting team, Denise, you were out there this morning. Who joined you? Oh, well, Lily Rose would be a greeter, to be sure. Uh-huh. If you're online, Lily Rose is 6 years old, and my granddaughter, and very, very social. So, yeah, I'm surprised she didn't recruit you into youth education this morning. Nobody's here for the first time. I have seen these faces before, and I'm always so grateful to be with you on a Sunday morning. Our affirmation on Sunday mornings is there's only one presence and one power. God the good, everywhere present, within and without and all around. There's only one power, omnipotent, one presence, one power, not a power of force, but a power of perfect, right unfolding and harmony. There's one presence, there's one power, and there's one omniscient mind that we call divine intelligence. In and within and at work, in and through all things, divine intelligence with which we are one. If stumbling over my words is any indication of how it's going to be up here this morning, it's going to be just fine. Just fine. Valuable as a divine being. I am valuable and irreplaceable. If ever there was an affirmation that's perfect for each of us, it is this: valuable, valuable. Who is my reader? There. Are you reading?
I'd love to.
If you're reading, you got a microphone just like that. See, there is magic in the universe. Come here. You know, the great spiritual masters used to draw what they call vibhuti, the divine substance, into manifestation from thin air. I think Richard just did that. Come on up, Mr. Valuable. You ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today's daily word is joy. Wow, joy.
Or valuable. Shift. There
Well,
you go.
joy is pretty cool, too. Valuable. As a divine being, I am valuable and irreplaceable. Each person is a spiritual being, made in the image and likeness of God, blessed with a variety of spiritual gifts we share in different ways I may have held about myself, and treat myself as the divine being I am. Like a beautiful gemstone, I too am a precious jewel among so many others. Together we sparkle and shine. You all sparkle and shine. And from Genesis 1:27, so God created humankind in his image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them.
I like your shirt. Well, we could trade after this. What do you want this morning? Not just what do you want here, but what do you want in your life this morning? What are you up for in terms of grace, love, peace, joy? What is it that would speak to you in terms of your life right now and the deeper longings of your heart and soul? When we ask ourselves, what is it that I want, or what is calling me, or what is it that I feel either the need to draw closer to or distance from? What do I want to let go? What do I want to take on? And in our questioning, we generally come to a point where it resolves to something very simple. The Daily Word always offers us one word. But when we think about our own needs, we have these stories about the whys and the whats and the whatevers. And in fact, it generally comes down to something very simple for ourselves or for someone else. Our prayer team is here to support you in your needs, in those things that you deeply feel in your heart or that are considerations for you in some way or another. Sometimes we think, well, I can only ask once, and the prayer team's already seen this, and I've asked 25 times. And then we conclude we must be doing something wrong. Other than I'm doing something wrong, is there another answer? Is there something deeper? Is there something more that is present that's actually beneath the request that we're making? There's always something at work within us that has our name, our nature, our deepest unfolding, right in the midst of it. When Emily Cady said, before you ask, the answer is present, she was rephrasing Jesus's words. God knows your needs before you ask. But what we do when we pray is move into alignment with the power, with the presence. And I believe the prayer is generally answered before we see it. And the result of that is when you put a prayer in the box or when you put one on our online site for a prayer request, that for you, you've already moved that into a higher dimension, a higher possibility. And when you do that, it's already activating. And you say, well, I haven't seen it. And I say, move into the deepest place of your being and know that the true need is already met, whatever it might be. Deeper, higher, broader than you can imagine. And perhaps remains unseen because our eyes are still looking for a particular result that we're holding in mind. When in fact, the reality of something even greater may be emerging in the midst of this moment. And so we're praying for this, but something is happening here in the stirring up of the energy that's meeting a need in a way that you have not noticed. So the prayer box is on the credenza. You can always submit a prayer request at Unity SV, that's Sam and Victory, sv.org. And the prayer ministers receive it very readily and join you in prayer. So, may prayer be celebrated And may the awareness of prayer be present for us. Not the old prayer, do it my way. That never worked. Um, oh, if not do it my way, at least do it the way I think should happen. And maybe we can ratchet up a little bit to a higher dimension and see how it already works. So prayer works. Unity has its foundation in prayer, and prayer works. So join our prayer ministers in prayer. We have a big announcement, Jerry. I do not speak of you personally, I speak of the announcement. It is huge. You know, Jerry's always been taller than me, and I've always thought, I'd like to be taller. Yeah, thank you.
Is that better?
That's very nice, thank you.
I have the pleasure of making an announcement, and the announcement that I'm going to make is I can relate to being a parent of an adopted child. Yes, Beth and I made a commitment. We saw the need. Yeah, my batteries are going low. So if I speak up loudly and hopefully. There you go. I'm going to come over here. Thank you, Steve. Sure. Beth and I made a commitment a number of years ago. We made a commitment a number of years ago to adopt a child. And the commitment was based on faith and love. We saw the need, we stepped forward, and we moved forward and took action. Y'all did that when we identified that there was a need and said, Bill needs adopted. And I appreciate the fact that you have stepped up in terms of monthly in an amount of $1,714 a month in that commitment. That surpasses what our expectations was. And on top of that, we had $895 in one-time gifts towards this. So this was incredibly successful. That being said, is very much like when we adopted our child, the first thing that we did was have ice cream. And so you will see out there is that we're inviting you to celebrate your commitment in adoption with the traditional adoption meal of ice cream and sprinkles. Lots of sprinkles.
Lots of sprinkles.
We're also going to have an official photographer. Leslie, could you put your hand up? She will be documenting this wonderful event by taking your pictures. She's also asked me, if you don't want your picture taken, is the international, go like that, you can't see me, and she will not take your picture. So again, we have reason to celebrate. We have been successful, we have seen the need, we have stepped up, and I want to give you all a round of applause. Thank you all.
Yay. Yay. Thank you, Jerry. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. For the team who stepped forward to give Bill's adoption process all the support in the world. On Sundays, for 5 Sundays, you heard the bell ring, you experienced the enthusiasm of the people, and we experienced the numbers on the board growing and growing and growing. Our original goal was $1,500 a month, and to exceed that it would come in at $1,700 was like, there were a couple people who were like, Yeah, well, I'm thinking we might get half that. I don't know. There were a couple people who said it's weird. I don't, that's a weird thing, but it looks like it's working. And if you've ever met my friend Diane, who visits from Santa Barbara occasionally, Diane Neuron, she was the creator of Adopt-A-Bill. And they were working in big numbers, um, to run that place. But the number is only a symbol of the generosity of your hearts and your commitment to this ministry. And know that it all goes for good. Everything that happens goes to be a blessing for not just you, but for anyone who comes here. And for our building and for the ways in which we are constantly trying to serve the needs of our community in a variety of ways. So you did it. We celebrate you. What flavors? That's my question. What flavor? What'd we get?
Peanut butter, vanilla, and chocolate.
We love you. Peanut butter. Not many people have had peanut butter. Yeah, but that vanilla chocolate combo always works.
And I brought non-dairy.
Thank you, Leslie, for thinking of people's needs. You got little stickers that said, I adopted Bill. I think that's what our sticker said. Put that somewhere. If you kept your sticker and maybe you want another one, put it somewhere where it's just a reminder of what you've done in the way of doing good, doing great things. And I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Kids' night this week, 24th, 5 o'clock. Men's group, 27th, 11 o'clock. Prayer team meets on Tuesday next week. Tuesday, a week from now. What week do you think I'm starting my class? Oh, I thought you meant on the week we were beginning. Well, there you go. Communication. It's thrilling. Forget that announcement. That was not online, and my class is postponed for another week. Okay, got it. I'm fine.
May I say something?
I wish you would.
I found this in my purse when I sat down.
That's Heather's.
That's mine.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Did I put it in your purse?
Thank you for your words, Sherry. We're all sharing your wallets there. We're just very sharing.
That kind of a day, friends. So, this is what I want to say. I want to say a variety of things, but I want to talk about how strange the energy has been. Certainly, Cleo and Betsy and maybe some of the others of you are more attuned to shifting patterns of energy or whatever the case may be. This has felt like swimming against the current. Maybe not for you, maybe not for some of you, but as though you've done something to make your energy weird. Like taking responsibility toward having, been, I must have done something that I'm feeling this way. And And it was so strong this week that I could barely move forward against the current. It was like I'm here in my body, but whatever the energies are that are moving, and we're one with the energy of the universe. We're one with the energy of all life. We're one with the energies that move and fluctuate and rise and fall and evolve and devolve, and we're one with an energetic pattern that is not owned simply by one of us, but is shared with us all. If you have felt as though somehow it's just not working for you, inwardly or outwardly, I encourage you to move more deeply inward. And even if you can't feel it, move into that awareness, that inner awareness, that which sustains you at all times is at work in you in this time. No matter what the outer energetics are moving, you're feeling it in your own body and mind. And as we grow spiritually, we become more attuned to that without even noticing sometimes. And so we think, man, I am just a mess. instead of maybe I'm part of a movement of energies that feel this way uniquely and differently for each one. Some of you, I saw you all, Dee and Ted, out playing and water sporting, and it looked like it was such a beautiful time. And I thought, boy, I'm sitting here thinking, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And without an answer. Then we tune in and we think maybe it's not an individual, but a collective time, and I am experiencing the energy of that in my own body and being. Instead of giving up, perhaps we just remember to offer our blessing to others, to each other in that time, knowing that we are not alone and it's not singular. So I say that because I thought yesterday as I was trying to think, I thought as I was trying to think, I don't have a thought to bring forward. I don't even want to try. And in that, you can feel that current push against. So you just step forward knowing that you're supported and move more deeply into the energy itself. Not the resistance of it, but the perfect order of it. And things happen. And so thank you for being here. And thank you for going out to play. Because it's inspirational to see those pictures.
I think we lost your battery or something.
Lost my battery?
Your microphone? 17 and a half seconds.
See? Do you see
Yeah.
it? Just, it's a little thing. Wait, I think I can do it right now.
We're having fun now.
This is just another, a little bit of it. just in sync with what is, my friends.
Yep.
Okay. I've been healed. Friends online.
You're not on.
Rather be here than anywhere. It's fine. Please, relax. Please, we're fine. Okay. I feel tilted and touched. I don't want to be serious anymore. I know, huh? No, well, it'll be what it'll be. What day is it? Okay, we're good. We're good. Let's meditate. Get this over with so we can have ice cream. Yeah? We need that more today. Do you have something you want us to sing, or shall I just drop into it? Let's just drop in. Yeah. Okay, we're there. All right. Let yourself be guided. And let yourself be held. So much goes into a day and a night of our lives. So many thoughts. How many thoughts? Stop, count them one day. Countless thoughts. A number beyond imagination. They just race through. But beneath all of that movement and motion, I love that so many of you have those things that count your steps. I'm like, yeah, let's count our steps. Not because I think it's bad or good, but because it shows you how constantly you are in motion. And that might be a good thing or not so good. So we've got racing thoughts, and we're trying to measure up to the number of steps we take. And then our body is trying to deal with the onslaught of all the activity that occurs within your physical body. From the tips of your toes to the top of your head, and all the space in between, there's movement. Movement. The blood is flowing, the cells are activating, the atoms are popping, the particles are swimming, the red cells, the white cells, the parts that support you and sustain you. Just be aware that you are a constancy of activity. But there's a place you can go that takes you beneath the activity level into the stillness. A place where the mind is still thinking and the body is still working, but where you are for a moment still in the flow of the peace that passes all understanding. I rest. I live and move and have my being in the peace of the presence of the One. And for a moment, I do not resist. But rather, I allow. With your breath, allowing the tension to dissolve. You dive more deeply into the everywhere present comfort of spirit. Holy One, I come. I bring my awareness and I open myself to your peace. To your love. To your guidance. So breathe now. I know that you guide me. I know that your guidance leads me on the path of my divine right unfolding. I know that your strength supports and sustains me. When my vision is clouded and my energy is not strong. I know that your power enfolds and moves within me and through me. To coordinate and bring into perfect order your love and the meeting of my every need. Your light is my light, and your life is my life. Your love is my love. Your peace is my peace, and my right understanding. Today I say that that which you are is that which I most need. And for all the ways you are active within and without, I lift my heart and I lift my mind and I lift my being in praise and gratitude for all the goodness, for all the grace, I pray, allowing this breath to be my breath of letting go into your presence. As I say, thank you. Thank you, dear and ever-present Father, Mother, God. And so it is. Amen. Do something special.
One of the people who wasn't at the conference, who was supposed to be, was Daniel Nahmod. And I know some of his songs, at least I recognize them as being his. And one of my favorites is this one, and I think I heard Matthew Wilson sing it first, like 7 or 8 years ago. So I love the simple sing-along part. It's 2 words, one power, right? One power, one power, one power's what we are. One power, one power, one power's what we are. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. There's one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, It's all one power, can't you see? The power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power is what we are. We are one power, one power, one power is what we are. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But difference only dangerous when we forget that in our heart we're all the same. And we'll remember when we close our eyes to see such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, and it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Mary, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power. Oh, the power. The power of the love in you and me. One power. One power. One power is what we are. One power, oh, one power. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. The freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. The sunshine on your face, the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that is most deep. It's the power, the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power is what we are. We're one power, one power, one power is what we are.
Whoa. Wow. I'm so happy that you would do that. You know, people reserve that song like it's got to be the huge voice and the choir and the, you know, that song. People just go, oh, but you took it in and with your voice and with your style brought forth just such a meaningful experience of it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. What else have you been hiding?
I was hiding this. In this
Don't
house,
you love that?
we laugh a lot, we try our best.
No.
All on a napkin, this
I
prophetic
know.
thing.
I know. Somebody took mine out of my thing.
Here,
Did you
don't
steal
be
that?
lost. No.
You could have it. We'll take a picture of it. We'll both have it. It's my special thing. Cocktail napkins are good for many things. So, this book by John Welshons, How many of you know John Welshons? See, I thought not, because I really wasn't so familiar with his work. Richard, do you know about it? Cleo? No? Oh, One Soul, One Love, One Heart. The Sacred Path to Healing All Relationships. Now that's that's a miracle in that book, I think. Yeah, all, the word all. He was, the book was written in 2012, and it's quite a work. I like it very much, and I told you I've been through so many books of late, and this one really, I really am touched by this book. Anyway, he and Ram Dass were good friends. Ram Dass wrote the foreword to the book, and it has a time about it, 2012. So think about 2012. For those of you who've been spiritual students for a while, 2012 was a time when there was a lot of material coming out, and in all different forms and teachings and styles of spiritual thought. And John Welshons somehow was known, really known in that time, but I'd never experienced him. So I'm reading it, and we're back to that whole love thing. Oh, for heaven's sake. Jesus had a thing about it. Everybody's got a thing about it. Gurus have it. Is it old? As a concept of love in that spiritual regard, we spent so much time on it that we kind of got like, yeah. And we're better people for what we learned, but now, we're in a world that's truly gone insane, and talking about loving compassion in the face of a world that's cracking and falling apart. You're like, yeah, well, where's the power? Where's the power? Where's the new something we can apply to all of this? And I think on some level that we've gone through another phase of spiritual information when we brought Buddhism in and began to work in the field of compassion, in the field of deep, profound inner awareness. All of the concepts of Buddhism have come in now, and then all the, again, all the you can make it to heaven if you try harder stuff, and you can be somebody if you just work at it more. All that stuff comes in waves. But I thought, I'm back in a book about the basics of loving relationship. A loving relationship with life. And I'm going to do a few weeks on this, so just get ready for it. I can't leave behind what's essential to look at what will give us more power and more energy for the big fight. It all comes down for me, once again, to compassion, to love, to acceptance, to a way of being in the world that honors that there is one soul, one love, and one heart. One great soul, one great love, one great heart. And that we are of that. in the sequences and the phases of our spiritual development, it's just so enticing to kind of get into something and really roll around in it. You know, Bodhi has a new habit. He drops in the middle of a four-way stop and rolls. Bodhi's my dog, if you haven't heard about Bodhi. It's his new thing, you know. He just, right in the middle of a four-way stop, it's like his favorite place. And I don't know how he knows, but there it is, right in the middle, and down he goes, and we roll, and we rub, and we roll, and we rub. And we can't get him up because he's too busy rolling and rubbing. Like, this is the best thing ever. And then he comes home all dirty, but he has fulfilled a deeper need. And in our spiritual life sometimes, we're a little like that. We kind of drop and roll for a while to nourish some part of us that seems not to be being nourished. And when we come back to the place of, you know, this is down to meeting the place in ourselves where we say the rubber hits the road. The real stuff, again, except deeper this time. And not the old kind of huggy, woo-woo stuff. This is down in the what do you love and what do you hate? And what are you willing to grow toward in your own development? And part of what that means is to look at the divisions that we live with in ourselves and come to them with a new heart, a new soul, a new love. The spirit that we need and desire for this time is a spirit that allows us to stand in the face of what is unthinkable from whatever direction you come, and be greater than that. To be humbled into being a being who is living those values that are the very values that life always invites us to bring to whatever it is that we do. One of the stories in the book is about a woman who was a long-time student of Meher Baba back when. So he taught 1925-ish to, he passed in 1969. So the story is people didn't know who he was, and he suddenly was drawing students from all over the world to India to spend time. And although he was moving through a deep silent time, he at the same time was bringing individuals into a whole higher state of consciousness. And so he invited a whole group of people to come to India to start an ashram. And part of his intention was to wake people up through discomfort, knowing that the mere proximity of one another would create intense discomfort, which would become the point of growing into love everyone always. It wasn't happening, love everyone always. They began to He assigned them jobs they hated. He roomed them together with people he knew on whatever level would have discord with one another. He set up the fertile teaching ground. And they didn't know. All they knew was they didn't like the person they were rooming with. They hated the job they were doing. And they thought he wanted them to have a blissful, happy life. Therefore, if that was the case, he would not want it this way, and therefore they should go and meet with him, have a time with him, made an appointment, 4 o'clock one afternoon, they all show up with that innocence, that pure innocence. Like, we thought you'd want to know that we're hating each other, it's not working, we know that's not what you want for us. And so would you help us make different arrangements? If we could just change roommates, if we could just change jobs, all would be well. And as they present their case, they look at him and he's crying. He's weeping. Nothing like seeing one of the great ones weep. It was the first time we had the opportunity to really feel how painful it was to disappoint Baba, but that wasn't it for him. He said nothing for several moments. He just quietly surveyed each of us. His eyes filled with tears. The entire room seemed to fill with his sadness and disappointment. And finally he responded, "It is true, I could give you tasks you prefer to do, and I could put you together with people you find it easier to get along with. I could do that. But what would you learn?" But what would you learn? How would you grow? What would you learn? My take on it is he wasn't so disappointed that these issues were going to arise and they hadn't met them. He was in the face of what we do when we're in discomfort and difficulty and challenge. We create more discord and distance and separation, when in fact this has come to be one of our great, great learnings, our great teachings, our great opportunities. Do I have to give up my feeling? No. I'm invited to turn that into the journey, the search for what it is in me that blocks, barricades, shuts out the capacity to love, be in compassion, to hold the space when there seems to be no space, and to stand in the light when there seems to be only darkness. Because that is the possibility in the midst of every crazy, chaotic moment. Not to become a sponge, not to lay down and let the truck run over you again. Not that. But to look at things as they come and ask the question, why does this disturb me so deeply that I would take it on in a way that would create such distance and separation and blame and judgment and, at its deepest level, hatred. And what is hatred? Really, what is hatred? But that hidden aspect of me that can arise under a particular circumstance. And so the hatred arises not toward just one thing, but then it becomes a collective. And now we're not just hating that one, hating the whole thing. Right down the line, we can make lists now. When the call at this time is to become stronger lovers and greater compassionate beings in the face of what looks like a daily disaster. And we are ready for it because we may be children of God in the child sense, in the spiritual sense, in our awakening, but we are masters of truth. And so the stories from this book and the way in which it unfolds addresses partners in marriage, partners in life, parents, siblings, children, relatives, friends, God, our bodies, our minds, our souls, our unfinished business, the sacred path and healing relationship. With these levels of our being that find themselves picked up and carried away by baggage that lives in us that can be healed one step at a time without necessitating that I agree with everything I see, or as I said, become a sponge to everything I hear, but rather that I become more masterful in my capacity to hold love and compassion in the dark. I pulled out my book the other day on the human shadow. I hadn't looked at it for a long time because it seems like the shadow energy is just. But if the shadow energy is that strong, the light energy has to be more strong. There's more light than darkness. There's no more possibility. There's more possibility than impossibility. We create our own misery. We create our own misery. Emily Cady. Through our belief in adversity and the power we give it to destroy us. If there was ever a powerful statement to live with in this time, we create our own misery through our belief in adversity and the power we give it to destroy us. It is as if we let ourselves be trapped in a dark room, agitated and fearful, yet never reaching for the light switch. Imagine living instead in our oneness with God. Life would still have its human difficulties, but our view of them would be changed. Rather than battling an outer enemy, we would take charge of our lives from within. Oh, we would transcend our labels of what is good or bad and live in the flow of the universe. Nothing might change in the outer circumstance, but our interpretation of them, our understanding, would take on new meaning. Those are the people I want to be with in this time. When I mean the people I want to be with, I mean the people I stand with, the people I want to see in this time standing for the power of the realization that when we believe adversity has all the power in the room, we have missed the fact that the light is shining so brightly that we cannot see it. So for the next few weeks, I'm going to be teaching from one soul, one love, one heart. And I'm grateful for the book. Do I say to you, buy the book? I don't say to you anymore, buy the books. I say, just, you don't have to have the book for it to have meaning for you. But this one's particularly nice. And you don't need a book for our Tuesday book study when we begin in 2 weeks. I'll send you questions for consideration for that class each week. So, and next week you'll get the link, and class begins not this next Tuesday, but the following. And that's all. And that's just like, I'm so done of it. I'm going to go home and take a nap. I'm like, Bodhi, I can't stay awake this morning. I can't stay awake, Bodhi. I'm falling asleep. Bodhi's like, I am so excited. It's time for breakfast. Let's go. Let's go. I'm like, I'm laying here. My alarm set for 4:45. I've fallen back asleep 3 times. I fell asleep at the computer. I was like, I am so like, I'll just sleep from now until next January and pray that something good happens. No, I'm kidding. Not about being that fatigued, but about really noticing and taking care of ourselves in this time. Thank you for your love offerings as we share our love offering blessing. We say, I give joyfully and easily, for God is my source and abundance is my nature. And of course, it is. Thank you for your gifts, all of them. Ice cream's coming up. I know it got really cold on this side. We ran Louise out. If you're too cold, you just have to do the cold thing. And we'll adjust it always. Thank you for.
Yeah, exactly.
I knew that.
Thank you for
Your gifts and more.
your gifts and more. Something like that. Gifts untold. Well, shelter from the cold. It's actually chilly. I wore a sweater. When I'm feeling sad or lonely, you let me know I'm not the only one who's ever been here. Thank you for your gifts and more. That's what I thank you for. Oh, thank you for. Thank you for. Thank you for your gifts and more. And Lily, Rose, and Sky, who are coming into the sanctuary.
We are so blessed to have Steve. Hello, Missy. And there is Sloth. Yay, Sloth. Hi, baby.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Did you have great today?
Yes.
Yes. Well, good for you. Thank you. Child of light. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are, always and always. I like your t-shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you know the prayer for protection? Do you remember the words? Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Well, let's all do it together. You'll remember the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I love you. Let's stand and sing our peace song. We're a quiet group today, but we're mighty. You want to get in the circle?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this